right there's the primary power line. We've been a little bit longer to get that power line. Another one's hung up right there too. That's a big tree. So the main thing that's holding that tree up is that creek bank right there. It's got it propped a little bit on the limbs, not much. See, that limb's not even touching the ground. Yeah, that creek bank is what's holding that thing up. Cool. Let's cut it, man. So again, that tree's resting on that bank right there. It's not even on none of them limbs. No weights on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna notch it under the bottom, and then you can bore it. You can bore through it and then cut out the back and let it release. That away is what you can do. You can cut down till you notch, but be real close to it's still barber chair on you just like that right there if you're not careful. So I'm working that throttle trying to get my saw out. Just that little bit that I notched into it, that thing has so much pressure on it that that kerf was already trying to close on it. So I'm just getting my notch, and it's not a very deep notch at all. And like I said, that told me that this thing had some crazy pressure. So I knew that boring it would be the the definite answer on it. And make sure, and that's what I'm doing right here, I'm trying to get my apex back there at the back of my notch perfect to where I can to where there's no bypass in it, because you don't want any bypass. Now I go up there and work it the rest of the way down. So now the weight of it is sitting on those limbs, what's left of them. So the saw is basically out of gas. I just looked in the tank, and all them cuts, it took a tank to do that. So it's down where he can handle it. I'm gonna hop over there and go ahead and whack that one too. I gotta get some gas first though. What I'm climbing up on is the root ball from the first tree that I cut. This one right here is pretty interesting. So it's notched and bored. Now I'm trying to get my thought process, because I know when I release this thing, I'm fixing to have to come off the back of this root ball and get away from it. So in a nutshell, these two trees here, very technical style trees, thorn trees, clay rooted, lots of pressure on them. I don't recommend, you know, unless you've got a lot of experience, I do not recommend you sticking a saw in one of these trees in a situation like this right here, because you can get messed up pretty quick, hurt badly. The thing, like, you got to watch on these, like when I cut that thing off, I went up through there, cut some of them limbs, but the tree can be sitting on them limbs and you cut it off down here. Well, you got a couple things to deal with. The root ball can stand back up, so you got that, you got to watch that. But also the upper section, it can go left or right, and it can go up too, it can go down. But the biggest thing is it can roll. Depending on how it's up on those limbs, it's just like a bicycle up on a kickstand, and as it goes to come to the ground, it's going to go left or right. It's really hard to like let them down straight down, especially if the limbs are spread out like in a tripod type situation. So you got to really watch that stuff, and you just take it a little bit at a time and work it. A hinge and a notch works the same way on a limb, horizontally or standing up, you know, just like it does in relation to a tree standing up. There's no difference in the way a hinge works. So it'll work both ways. You just got to put a good notch on it. Now this tree here, that's a very serious tree right there, and mainly because where the root ball was for that big one, I had hardly anywhere to go. So I had to make sure that I had all my ducks in a row, because pretty much all I could do was go off the back of that root ball back there. So, and that's the beauty of that hinge. That hinge, I have to go back and watch the video. The hinge will hold that thing to the attachment point to give you time to do whatever you need to do, rather than cutting it completely loose. And then you got a loose cannon. Say this tree hits this one here and sends the butt back that way, well then that's going right over the top of where you're going to be laying down there behind that root ball. So there's a lot of scenarios, and there's been a lot of people hurt over the years because of trees like this. And again, you're way better off to get somebody to do this. What I charge for something like this, I came in here in my silver truck. I'm gonna get $300 for this job right here is what I did. I've been here maybe 20 minutes or so, something like that. So pay somebody to do that, and that way you ain't got to worry about it. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna, the same way, say if I had a broke arm, I'm not gonna try to fix it myself, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go to the doctor and let him fix it for me. I'm gonna pay him to fix it for me. The same thing with tree work. Let me get my stuff here, and we're gonna head on.